late people to join. We should start in 2 to 3 minutes, just to let a bit of time for late joiners. People switching from a meeting to another, maybe. So as Sean shared, the webinar will be recorded. So yeah, I don't know yet if it will be sent to everybody after the meeting, or maybe Sean, you can help on that. Are we going to send the recording just after?
I think we will send it 1 day or 2 days after, and also share on our YouTube channel.
Okay, thanks. And please, there is the chat on the right. Please feel free to ask question and help me a bit, because I don't spend 30 minutes just talking by myself. So any questions, remark, please feel free to do it on the go. So maybe before starting, people who are already connected, can people who are already doing DSP or who managed DSP in the past just write a me on the chat, just so they can know how many people are already familiar with DSP in terms of doing it or has an experience with it. Okay, nice. I see that Kevin, Mauricio, Noel, and at least 6 people. Nice. And 7. All right. So let's start. So for people who don't know me, I'm the CEO of M19. Who don't know M19, we are a software that automates and optimizes ad on Amazon. So we do only Amazon advertising, full funnel from sponsored product, brand, display to DSP. And during today's webinar, I will be presenting our newest product, that is DSP optimization by M19. So I will show why we did it, how we are doing it, and we'll show you a demo of the DSP capabilities of M19. Great. Today I will start by quickly talk about DSP, why it's challenging, why it's complex. Then we'll move on how we did simplify it into M19, what are the benefits of what we did, and then we'll finish with a live demo. Okay. So a high-level view of DSP. So the power of DSP is giving advertisers on Amazon and off Amazon access to audiences, audience-based targeting, while sponsored ads are mainly keyword targeting. So we are in the bottom of the funnel, you target based on keywords. On DSP, the keyword is an audience, is a cohort, it's a group of people that you want to go after. So the nice thing about DSP is that there are already pre-packed or pre-computed audiences by Amazon, like in market, people that are in market for a specific category. For example, in market for dogs food, or in market for football accessories or whatever. This is one type of ready off-the-shelf audiences that are built by Amazon based on the events of Amazon users on Amazon website. Then you have demographics, like audiences based on demographics. They are also available to be used inside DSP. And the last one is AMC-based audiences. AMC, for people who don't know what it is, it's Amazon, like most granular and most detailed data about ads, which means it's basically like databases where Amazon is storing all the clicks, all the impressions, and all the sales events, and giving access to advertisers and tool providers like us to build audiences from this raw data, which means that you can build whatever audience you think of from the raw data by doing the queries that describes the audience. Say it differently, it's custom audiences where you can build whatever you want based on Amazon ads events that are provided by Amazon. So there are pre-built audiences in market demographics, lifestyle, etc. And there are custom ones that are not pre-built, that are AMC based, that you can build yourself using templates or using even custom code that are custom to your need. With DSP, you are able to go after these audiences. The other powerful thing about DSP is the reach. Reach is not only on Amazon, you can go also on other websites and other inventory that is off Amazon, like EMDB, Prime Video, Stitch, and even some generic websites, New York Times, etc., etc. And last thing about what makes it more powerful than sponsored ads are all the targeting options, which means that you can really custom into detail how you want to target your audience from, as I said, the cohort of the user, the device that they are using, the environment that they are using, the type of products that they are seeing, etc., etc. So all these options that are not available for sponsored ads are available for DSP. So when you have a lot of options, it means that you have a lot of choices to make, and it will, like, the combination of all the possibilities is like unlimited. So it's nice to have something powerful, but most of the time it's complex to use. First reason is it's very manual. There are a lot of steps to have one campaign running on DSP. Like, hear people that said that they are experienced or at least have an experience with DSP. I'm pretty sure they can relate to the pain of at least, I don't know, 10 to 15 steps before having like a strong DSP campaign created. The structure is also complex. You need to create orders, you need to create flights, you need to create line items, you need to create creatives, you need to set a lot of parameters, frequency capping, pacing, etc. It's a massive structure that needs to be created before having the first impression displayed. And of course, the learning curve is steeper compared to sponsored products, where you can just create an auto campaign, choose a product, auto campaign, and have it running. So what we did for sponsored ads, which is oversimplifying and optimizing behind the scene, we did it for DSP. We applied the same path and the same logic. So we also worked on making it consistent between the two formats. So we kept this not knowledge, but this thing that we call a strategy inside M19, where you create a strategy, then the strategy will create the campaigns, do all the work. we applied the same process for DSP, and we introduced what we call a DSP strategy that will create the orders, the line items, and everything. So inside M19, we talk again about strategy. Now there's a DSP strategy, and you have sponsored product strategy, sponsored brand, and display strategy. So we have one strategy per type, which is just as we used to do before. These are screenshots from strategy creation, like sponsored products on the left and a DSP on the right. I will go more into details during the demo, where you can see exactly what is there in M19 software today for the DSP. How it works. In the M19 side, we start as for sponsored products, you choose what type of optimization you want. Either you want to optimize for conversion or for like consideration for product page views. Two type of optimization that will be happening on your behalf to steer the biddings and everything on the DSP strategies. You choose what type of optimization you want. Then you set a monthly budget. It's like one of the optimization provided on sponsored ads. Then you select the products that you want to feature or promote on DSP. And last, you choose your audience. Either you pick from the pre-built audiences by Amazon that will make available by just selecting and clicking, or you can even use your own pre-configured or preset audiences that are either product-based or AMC-based, like the custom audiences. You have the option also to use your own custom audiences inside M19 strategies. So before going directly into the demo, try to summarize why what we did moves the needle, why it matters. It's almost the same reasons as sponsored product. So the first one is we are able by automation and by creating complex structure to do granular bidding at scale, which means that inside each order, that is the equivalent of campaign in sponsored ads, we have a lot of different line items, and each line item has its own bid, and we are able to bid at this level. This is exactly what we are doing for product keyword level bidding on sponsored ads. So it is working well because we are able to bid, to have a lot of different bids at a very low stage level. Second is budget optimization. If you recall, you set a budget at strategy level. For example, you are going after a specific audience, doing retargeting, whatever, for a group of product. We are able to, and you give the budget at this level. What M19 does, this budget will be optimized across the different ASINs that are in the strategy, the different devices, different environments. All of this is split into different line items, and M19 is optimizing like the budget allocation and how it is moving from one line item to another, while maintaining the overall budget respected. Third win is that it's very, very fast to set up. So while manually it requires at least 10 steps and at least an hour to have a proper DSP setup on place, at least an hour. On M19, it's a matter of minutes, if not seconds, for an easy setup. And with all this, like the barrier to entry is very, very low, because there is no expertise required. There are no minimum spends required. So testing is pretty like open now for anyone who think that DSP or who is thinking of testing DSP, he can do it through M19. Okay, so this I already covered, like the benefits. Just a recap. Any questions so far before moving to the demo? Yes. All right, so we have a question from Elisa. Any current non-limitation on complaint types pushed from M19? Yes, a very good question. So today we cover only display, like responsive e-commerce creatives and display. We don't cover video formats, and we are not using Performance Plus. It's a kind of Performance Plus that is built by M19. And by the way, we're encouraging our users to test us against Performance Plus. In terms of what type of optimization that you choose, sales or clicks, in terms of to be able to compute a bid, you need to have a target, something you are optimizing for. To oversimplify it, if you have just, let's say you have a dedicated bid per device type, 2 device types, and one device type has a high click rate compared to the other. If we optimize on click rate, we'll be bidding higher on device 1. If it's conversion rate and it's device 2 that is converting more despite having less clicks, we'll be bidding higher on device 2. It's just a matter of how we bid and what we are optimizing for while setting our bids. Said differently, when we optimize for clicks, we'll bid higher where it clicks more. When we optimize for conversion, is we bid higher, like the ECPM, and like the bid we go for is higher where conversion rate is higher. No. So the question from Khalid is, can we switch to ACOS mode after budget in DSP? So for the moment, we on purpose are providing only budget-based goal, and the optimization is either conversion or clicks. When you choose conversion, we are basically optimizing for ACOS. We are giving the best ACOS possible within this budget. So you don't input this ACOS, but we provide the best ACOS possible. Why? Because there are a lot of cases where it can be misleading to steer with ACOS while doing DSP. And if you do it only ACOS based without taking into account the overall picture, like measuring the overall impact, DSP costs, sponsored ad costs over all the revenue, you might not get the right like readings of the figure. So for the moment, on purpose, we are not providing the ACOS based steering where you set an ACOS as a goal on DSP. It's you set only a budget, and we do optimize your ACOS within this budget. A very long answer to say no, you cannot switch to ACOS mode. All right, so let me move to demo, and I'm pretty sure you will have other questions when you will see the live demo. So please, Sean, I'm not looking at the chat anymore, so if there are any questions that are related to the demo, ask me the questions, and otherwise I will read the questions after the demo. DSP is one tab inside the strategies, the advertising strategies, and it's almost the same logic and process. We'll give it a name, test, a monthly budget, 1,000. It explains what will happen with this budget. So it's calendar budgets, which means that whatever you set is for the running months, and the next month will be the same budget for all the month. We need to be careful about that. There are two types, consideration and conversion. Let's go with the conversion. We want to maximize ad sales. You have different audiences. Let's go for in-market and look for cats, which is chat en français in France. There are, of course, a lot of subcategories. Let's go for the most generic one, just cats. And we'll go for demographic, male. We'll be going for male who are interested or in market shopping cats product. You can also blacklist some audience. So I will blacklist all people that bought from my store over the 90 days. This is a custom audience that I built myself. And I will choose my relevant products to this strategy and audience. Let's assume it's these three. Now, as you can see, I finished the creation. And I can create my strategy. So now the software will go create everything. We'll create the orders, the line items, using the audiences that I set, create the different creatives and responsive e-commerce creative for the 3 different products that I chose. The default setup will be on and off Amazon, like the premium Amazon, like the direct integration with Amazon in terms of publisher, and Amazon websites. We don't go by default on third-party exchange because there's a lot of crap in it. So you need to add a domain restriction. So we want only people who are experienced with ad exchange to go for this option. And you have a tab where you can see the different stats, KPIs. You can see it by line item, by creative, and even by website, where we are displaying your product, and where you can see also how well each website is converting. Let me show you a running strategy, how it looked like. You see, it was very, very fast to create. So it's a matter of like 3 to 4 clicks. So this strategy is running on these 3 products, on people who saw in the past similar products, or search for the products or similar ones, or viewed the products from the brand over the last 3 months, and excluding all-time purchasers. But by all-time, the max you can go for is 1 year. We can check the stats for this strategy. So you can have the different ads APIs here. And you can also find, as I mentioned, the details. For example, here we are promoting these 2 products, like the 4S and 74. And you see per environment and per device type, there's 1 line item. So on this test strategy, it was only enabled on Amazon and on Amazon Publisher Direct. You have also the split by creative. So we have 1 creative per ASIN. So if you have 2 ASINs, you will have 2 creative. If you have 100 ASIN, you will have 100 creative here. And you have also the split by inventory. So you can see the site and the supply source, and you can see where most of sales are coming from. It's no doubt it's coming from on-site, like Amazon.fr, and this is some very big French websites.
Tarik, I saw there are 2 questions.
Yes.
So the first one is, these are only rec visual, Can we put
Yes,
standard display visual?
this is only rec. What we are finalizing is here, it's rec. Here you will have the option to choose from other display creators that are even for offsite off Amazon with off Amazon redirect. So here instead of a rec tab, it will be creative tab. And if you have your own like other custom display creator, you can choose them to be used in your strategy.
Okay, so the second question is, can we update the line item name manually, or
No.
do they need to remain the same?
No, for the moment, the line item is created on your behalf, and it has in it the information that it does contain, like async environment, like device environment. But again, we are open to make it evolve in the future if there is a need for giving you the option to customize the naming, like what we are doing for sponsored ads. Sponsored ads, you can customize the naming the way you want. But we are not providing it for the moment for DSP because we didn't get the ask for it.
Okay, actually we have quite a lot of questions. So if you want, Tarik, you can
Okay,
go
let me
back to the,
yeah,
yes.
let me go back. All right. Okay, so rec, it's only rec. We can push stop the display after. The naming we cannot update now. My account won't link to DSP. Okay, so this is a more a support question. No, you cannot test DSP on your trial. So we don't have a free trial for DSP unless you already have your own DSP advertiser account. So if you need a DSP advertiser account on our own site, you cannot test. If you have already your DSP advertiser, you can test, and normally you should be able to link. If it's not the case, please just send an email to support and we will look into it. Can we block DSP on some publishers? So yes, you can upload your own list of domains. In DSP, we focus on lower funnel conversion. How would that impact revenue potential in addition to sponsored products? Assuming we start with a 5K budget. So I don't know, 5K budget, it depends on how much is your sponsored ads budget. But at least from M19 side, for people who are accustomed, on the AMC tab, you can see the different path to conversion and see what's the impact of DSP and where it does appear in your different paths. And based on the budget compared to sponsored ads, yes, it might impact your sponsored sales because of sales attribution. I don't know if this was your question, but at least on the sales attribution side, since it's deduped, DSP and sponsored ads are deduped. Whatever you are getting on DSP, it's not appearing in sponsored ads. So it's possible you might see a slight decrease in your sponsored ads on sponsored ads sales if you start DSP. But what matter at the end is your overall revenue to your total cost of advertising, sponsored ads, and DSP. This is the thing you want to monitor. All right, how should we create our DSP strategy? Should we divide our catalog by category and develop different strategies for each product category? For example, protein bars and spread. How should we group or combine asins effectively? So it depends on. I always recommend to start with testing with one category. Like the main category, the basic setup to start with is a retargeting campaign, people viewing that didn't buy, a reactivation campaign, people that bought in the past that didn't bought recently when it makes sense for repeat, for example, protein bars, and one in-market campaign for supplement in-market people, excluding people that are viewing or that know the brand that bought in the past. So I would go with one category, let's say protein bars, and do 3 strategies. One that is pure retargeting, excluding buyers. One that is like a reactivation, all the buyers that are dormant. And the last one in market that are not buyers from my brand. This is how I would test it. And then if you see value and you measure on protein bar overall the impact, if you like it, then you can do it for other categories. And I would do the same 3 per main category. But again, also it depends on how big is the category, how big is your sponsored ads budget. For me, as long as if you are not, your sponsored ads budget is not at least 25K a month, I won't bother testing DSP. At least 25K a month. Okay, so the 80K is it's big. All right, can you show again the KPIs monitored, please? Can we see the DPVR, detailed page view ratio, I guess? So as you know, like there are thousands of KPIs. New to product, and we shortlisted the KPIs, but we can definitely add any that is relevant. For the moment, we just shortlist like the most common ones. And there's, yeah, we can add the PVR if it makes sense. The fee. So the fee is, it depends if you have your own advertiser or not. If you have your own advertiser, the fee is 1%. If you are already an M19 customer. If you are not an M19 customer, it's 400 plus 1%. If you have your DSP advertiser. If you don't have your DSP advertiser, it's the same. If you are already a customer, it's your pricing plus the 3, like it's the same 3% of that you are paying for sponsored ads. Our regular pricing is 400 plus 3. You will be charged 3% of the DSP budget. If you are not an M19 customer, it will be 400 plus 3%. Basically the same as sponsored ads. The only difference is if you have your own DSP seat, it's 1% instead of 3. Cool. I hope I was clear and I answered all the questions. Of course, if you have other questions that you weren't allowed or you forgot to ask, you have our email, or you can directly even email me at tarik@m19.com. And to test DSP, it depends. If you have your own existing account You just need to go to settings here, and for each account you can add a DSP account. If you don't have your DSP account, you need to reach to our customer success team to start the process. We need to create a DSP account for you. Oh, okay. So there's one last question. The 3 types of campaigns we should try at the start for driving conversion. Can you please tell me the 3 types of campaigns we should try? Okay. So yeah, the 3 types of campaigns. First one is retargeting. Second one is reactivation, going after the old buyers that didn't buy in the recent period if you have a repeat product. And last one, in market excluding retargeting. In market for your category excluding retargeting. But if you want to test it during the monthly calls or onboarding for DSP, we will help you with these different strategies. Cool. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Sean, for organizing and making it happen. And yeah, have a good day. Bye-bye.